Hey guys, Ray here from Mastermind Traders Academy, and welcome to this evening's trade analysis. The time is now 1 minute after 6. So, what we're going to do is do a rundown of these currency pairs, and we're going to begin with the euro dollar since it's at the front of the list. So, we already issued a trade alert inside the group with the euro dollar to go long. We are actually holding at support now, even though we have a strong downtrend. We do have a strong downtrend here, but we're seeing where in the past price has held here as resistance, held here as support. Over to this side, we see price holding again as resistance. So we're seeing now that price has hit this said level. We're seeing some level of indecision in the market based off this doji. So with that in mind, we're looking to go long in the market back into probably one of these areas of resistance over the next few days. All right, now let's head down to the smaller time frame. On the smaller time frame, we have a strong bearish trend coming down. And of course, one might ask, why did I get into this trade? But again, not something I'm going to discuss openly to the public. This is only for my VIP crew only. So, nevertheless, we got into this trade and we're expecting price to break this trend line coming downwards and rally at least back into these levels of resistance over the next few days. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. All right, let's move on. US pound dollar. All right, so with the pound dollar, starting with the daily chart, we have strong resistance and strong support holding price currently at this support level. So again, we're expecting a bounce even though we do have a strong downtrend. I am expecting the market to basically pull back all the way into these areas of resistance. It's not going to happen overnight, over a couple of days, maybe into another week or so. We could see price pushing its way back into these areas. However, we are going to expect some resistance from the market at these levels as the market begins to rally, if the market begins to rally, but I am expecting the market to rally. So if the market does begin to rally, then I am expecting some resistance at these levels, which could cause some level of consolidation before the market actually goes higher. And then I believe it will just continue in its path to trend downwards. So that's also something we're going to keep an eye on. Now, I did execute a trade on my live account. I've not posted it inside my group just yet. Um, Price hit this level, but has not gotten my trade's not yet triggered, off by a pip or two. But nevertheless, I am expecting the market to dip a little bit lower where I'll be able to get into this trade. Now, again, as I said, the market has begun to rally on this 1 hour time frame. So as you can see here, we are seeing the market making higher highs and higher lows, market pulling back to pass resistance, becoming support along these areas. So as I mentioned, I'm expecting the market to rally back into these levels over the next few days. All right, USJPY. All right, so USJPY starting with the daily chart. We have a strong uptrend. Now, of course, I've gotten beaten on this trade a few times this week. And if you, as you can see here, we had a strong inverse head and shoulder pattern. Then the market just started taking off. So now we're at this level of resistance. We are seeing some area of price rejection here. We're getting some dojis. We got a decision candle that basically says price is likely to go back upwards. However, it could just simply be a retest in the market for price to trend back downwards. Now, let's head down to the smaller time frame. Now, on the 1 hour chart, we're seeing here an typical head and shoulder pattern. So here we're seeing that head and shoulder pattern. Price actually surpassed this shoulder, actually went into this area, which is around just above a 78% retracement if we're using a fib tool. Let's actually draw that. Okay, so we're holding at the 78% retracement level at this point. So we are actually looking for some price action movement on smaller time frames before going short in the market. Now you're seeing on a 1 hour chart some level of consolidation. So we want to see a break of consolidation before we decide to take entry into the market. So I want to see price probably breaking this level of support, and then we'll be looking for entry to go short back into these areas of support. All right, Euro JPY. All right, so Euro JPY broke a nice trend line to the downside. Market consolidated. Then it actually started to rally, and we're now back at past resistance becoming support. Now our MACD is basically pointing downwards. So with this trade, a little bit of uncertainty in the market. On the daily chart, we're seeing we have a nice bullish candle, so we had some price momentum that pushed price upwards. However, we could see a retest of these lows before the market decides to rally. So this is something that I will keep an eye on, but will not be trading it right now. Euro CHF. All right, so the Euro CHF created a nice pattern. We see this nice double bottom pattern here. The market took off from this double bottom pattern, breaking resistance. Now price retested past resistance, becoming support, and we're expecting the market to rally upwards. So we could actually look if price gets into this level to buy on the dips with our stop loss below these levels of support. All right, let's keep going. Canadian CHF. All right, so the CAD CHF, nice strong move to the upside on the daily chart. We have a strong bullish candle here, so we could see more momentum or more push to the upside, even though we have divergence here. But we are seeing where there's some buying pressure in the market at this point, so we'll be looking to buy on dips. On the forward chart, we're seeing a doji, so we have an indecision candle here, so we could see the market actually pushing back downwards, probably to create a inverse head and shoulder pattern. Not the ideal head and shoulder pattern, guys, but nevertheless, we could see a head and shoulder pattern, an inverse head and shoulder pattern being formed here, and therefore at this level at 0.7760 is where we could actually look for an entry to go long in the market. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. On the 1 hour time frame, we are seeing some indecision candles. So again, that would suggest that price is going to or should push itself back into these levels of support over the next few hours. And basically, one thing with the market is that it usually tries to balance itself out. So this area is called an area of price inefficiency, which means there's a likely possibility that the market is going to fill this gap and then continue with its upwards path. So this is also something to keep an eye on over the next few hours. New Zealand. All right, so the New Zealand dollar obviously had a sell-off just now. I guess maybe some news release came out, which I'm not aware of. I'm not a news trader. Bear with me. However, on the daily chart, we're seeing where price has broken support. So the next target could be in this area here at around 68.20, 68.17, 68.20. So we would be actually looking to sell on rallies. Now here we see price breaking this support level. So on a pullback, we could actually look for a trade to go short in the market. CAD JPY. All right, so the CAD JPY, I had a good run on this trade earlier today with my live account. I did not post it inside the group. However, I did walk away with a decent profit. All right, so looking at the CAD JPY, we're seeing some level of consolidation here. We're getting a retest of these highs on the daily chart. And of course, you can see we're having momentum is shifting to the downside. So we could see price from this level starts trending downwards. Now we're going to keep an eye on this trade. So let's head down to the forward chart. Now on the forward chart, we're seeing indecision candles, and also we're seeing a nice tweezer top pattern right there. However, that's still not enough for me to get into a trade. So looking for more confirmation on this pair. Again, Price is just simply going sideways during the Asian session, so not much of a trading opportunity at this point, but I would be looking to go short if opportunity presents itself. Aussie USD. All right, so Aussie USD peer on the daily chart. We have a strong downtrend. Price did break this support level. Price broke and then rallied back upwards. So we got a price rejection here in the market, and we're seeing somewhat of a pin bar or an indecision candle. And on the forward chart, we're seeing again a turn. We're seeing a small turn in the market here. So this is basically a evening star pattern, and we could see a retest back into this level where we'd see the market starting to rally. Now on the 1 hour chart, we can see an inverse head and shoulder pattern formation. So we could see price pushing back into this level of support where that would give us a perfect opportunity to get into a trade at this level with our stop loss just below this low. And of course, we'll be looking to take the trade up into these levels of resistance. So look out for this inverse head and shoulder pattern over the next few hours, or you could simply set a buy limit order here to get into your trade with a tighten of risk and at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio on this pair. And finally, we have the pound Aussie. All right, so pound Aussie, I am looking at this pair. I want to get into this trade, but I want to see price actually giving me a better entry price, probably back into this level above here where I'm expecting past support becoming resistance. So if price gets back into this level, then I will look to short the market almost immediately. Now on the larger time frame, we can see some areas of consolidation here. Then we see the break. Then we see the market retesting these highs, and of course, nice pin bar pattern. So again, I'm expecting the market to rally up into this level, and then above these highs is where I'll be having my stop loss and taking a trade to go short into this level of support. So with this trade, this is actually a high probability trade for me, and I'm actually keeping an eye on this trade because if I do decide to get into this trade, I'm looking at, okay, let's get back to the 1 hour chart. If I get in around here, I'm looking at around 50 pip in risk to almost 200 pips in profit. So this, as I mentioned, is a good high probability trade that I'll be keeping an eye on. However, I want to see price retrace back into these levels before I'm able to get into a trade to go short. All right, so that's it for today, guys. I will keep you posted. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll try to do one more of these trade analysis updates for you. So in the meantime, I will see you soon.